Hey guys, Theo here, and we are now hot off the heels of a beefy 40-minute Nintendo Direct. And as we all know, with any decision made by Nintendo, there's just inevitably criticism that comes along the way from the community that's often, let's say, for the better part, unconstructive, but on occasion are actually quite valid. As a preface, with all of these new games being launched for the Nintendo Switch, it really does seem like we're winning as a whole player base. From Nintendo veterans that have been playing since the NES days, or even the newcomer who just bought a Nintendo Switch. Never before has the player had just so much choice in what they play on a single console. That is just absolutely undisputable. Like, you cannot refute that fact. As a matter of the quality of the collection of that content, though, that is totally up to us as the players to just sort of feel and suss out. Nonetheless, though, for fun, in this video, let's try to discuss reasons why Nintendo is or isn't delivering on that quality of content. The first argument that could be made is Nintendo really doesn't know how to make games anymore. Okay, let's take that. Clearly, Nintendo makes games. I don't see them as a company ever stopping and jumping off of their giant Mario airship anytime soon. Mario as an IP and let alone as just a brand will outlive us all. To bring some nuance to that argument though, let's say that Nintendo doesn't know how to make new and original games anymore. Now, this is something that I can go back and forth a bit more on. A shining example of this being true is none other than what has become of the couch co-op game New Super Mario Bros., as we all know. As of this recording, this franchise has become more vanilla toast than, vanilla toast that fell off the countertop and found its way under the refrigerator, never to be seen again. Seeing the evolution of this game really killed the enthusiasm that I had for the 2D side-scrolling plumber. A lot of people other than myself shared this opinion and like to experience things that are, genuinely worthwhile. In this especially hyper-competitive industry where players really don't want to put their precious little free time into games that don't deliver meaningful, new visual and mental spectacles, it's almost like the word video game should be synonymous with the word experience, experiences that really make you go, wow, I can't put this down, or oh no, it's over already? I'm talking about experiences that make you feel like you just read your favorite book or watched your favorite movie or anime series that really got you engrossed and invested in their world and story. And I understand that even games that don't share those traits can have very satisfying game mechanics that still make you feel like you're doing something new or succinct with the feeling of accomplishment for your efforts. I just feel like at the core of this quote-unquote new, I gotta have the combination of all of those things. I like a big tasty soup with every spoonful being more delicious and savory than the last. Just on the horizon though, we do have a Super Mario Bros. Wonder coming out, and at this time, around from what we've seen from other Nintendo YouTubers that have tried the demo, it does look promising. This may just be the game to get me back into the franchise since, the whole Wii era of 2D Mario. Well, so far, all I was able to discuss was just that singular franchise. What about the other IPs from Nintendo? New Super Mario Bros. Is just but one example on the list of many games that have seemingly iterated very little on their main tropes over the years at best, and at worst, sullied and watered down their gameplay, of which their fans have clearly noticed and resented the company for. Well, Nintendo, as I preface it with this statement, that seems to be all that you're doing as of late, just pulling from your well, unlocking your giant steel door and like a little secret Disney vault, pulling out the old faithful stuff that will sell and will sell, that we will definitely buy. This isn't even to mention Mario RPG and even 3DS games being remastered for the Switch. We seem to be in sort of an interesting timeline of legacy GameCube games coming back as actual headliners of all things, and that aren't simple NSO or Twitter shadow drops. So for example, we have Tales of Symphonia, Story of Seasons, formerly known as Harvest Moon, Baten Kaitos, the Pikmin 1 and 2 games from the GameCube, Metroid Prime, the remaster, Super Mario Sunshine HD from 3D All-Stars, and the absolute big banger here, Paper Mario and the Thousand Year Door is coming to the Nintendo Switch. Now, this is, again, nowhere near close to the wonderful roster of games that the GameCube was famous for. In recent Nintendo fashion, anytime Nintendo will just throw us a bone and watch us suck out the sweet marrow of nostalgia for the older gamer folk. This is a larger point of contention emphasized by myself and even my partner. Although we concluded that Nintendo makes games, those remasters and remakes aren't exactly giving us any new games. I've been grappling with this question lately. What was the last strong IP of theirs that seemed to represent anything of genuine originality? You know, the launch Switch game of, what, ARMS back in 2017? I mean, I did buy that and I really did enjoy it for what it was worth, but sadly, other than ARMS, it didn't have the legs to really carry itself. I'll concede and say that the talent and the leadership are much larger components to focus on when you want to get into the nitty-gritty fundamentals of what makes a game or an end product truly something special. It takes a larger group effort and a company to really brainstorm and experiment with products and games. It's the experimenting itself that I think only now we're seeing from recent Nintendo. Maybe the big wigs at corporate have really heard the outcries from the community, or at least checked their quarterly evaluations of all things, to see that their vanillaware games really aren't holding long-term value. And what I mean by that is that the people will still buy a remastered of a game that's over 20 years old, because that game in particular is truly of great caliber. These games of the past were worth a damn. This is proven yet again simply by the nature of how communities form around them, and continue to bring joy and entertainment to future player bases. I don't have to be a veteran Nintendo head to really appreciate these older games. Their value simply came from the passion and the energy of wildly creative developers that crammed all of this into a little compact disc. It'd be fair to assume that, you know, nothing is completely original and we all stand on the shoulders of giants. I think we can only do our best to recognize the best aspects of what we like and then bring them forward and iterate on them. So it's really interesting to me that the great games exist, but just by virtue of existing doesn't mean that every new game is going to be a home run from there on. To use a weak baseball analogy, maybe you just have to keep swinging for the fences, you know? Keep swinging for the fences, even though there's a chance to strike out, you need the courage to keep trying. That was like from my coach when I played t-ball back when I was like 5 or 6. I think now I'll digress. So even if we keep getting small iterations on games we've already come to love, that doesn't mean that it won't inspire new and impassioned game developers in the future. So just to encourage Nintendo to keep swinging, and we can only do that by supporting the titles that we actually love the most. Now, that's all the thoughts I really had on this. I really want to expound on this and like talk with you guys more on this topic and like how it can really develop. These are just sort of my off-the-cuff thoughts, and I really want to dive into that and unpack this more with you guys. So definitely let me know down below, and as a little treat and bonus for sticking around this long, let's do a little bonus segment here, because I didn't really cover the Nintendo Direct, but here's my quick thoughts on some of the mainline titles that I think I'm going to be playing. So, rapid fire, I'm going to be playing the living daylights out of the Thousand Year Door when it hits the Switch next year. It looks so polished. I just can't resist a game that looks that freaking good on the Switch. I enjoyed the heck out of the Mario vs. DK game back on the Game Boy Advance. So even though it looks a little simple, you know, it's definitely just one of those easy pick up and play puzzlers that I've just been really itching to play. So, you know, especially hearing all of those uncompressed GBA sound effects would be a really nice throwback, even though, you know, I heard the voice dialogue was axed, so we'll see how that goes. I think the Showtime Peach game is just way too simple for me to be really interested in that. Definitely a game you would get for like your younger nieces and nephews, just to try to play a video game and just start out with something super simple and easy. That looks like the perfect route for Peach so far, so I do give it points for that. At least she's getting some kind of game, I'll be honest. What else do we have here? I will also do a day one pickup of Mario RPG. The cast of characters in that game is so freaking wacky, and the designs are just off the charts. I just can't resist that. That is a definite day one pickup for me. I'm also just a turn-based combat lover from Nintendo, RIP Superstar Saga. But moving on for that, I think that wraps this all up, and I honestly want to keep Nintendo discussion videos going, just to say that again, and I'm always super stoked to hear you guys and your thoughts on Nintendo stuff, so please let me know down below. I guess I have to say this, just like, comment, subscribe, hit that bell. Please do it. I want to make more videos, and I just like doing this in general, so all the support is really appreciated. Hope you guys have a lovely day. Bye bye.